Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us on social media. For those of us watching the stream this morning, you can certainly put questions you have into the comment sections on the City of Savannah's Facebook page or on Mayor Johnson SAV on Facebook and Instagram. And once our media partners have completed their questions, I will be more than happy to answer yours. So today is Election Day, 2020, as if you did not know. And I want to encourage every single eligible voter in this community to get out and cast your ballot. Every single election is important, and I am blessed to say that I have voted in every single election since I could vote, for whatever it was, because my vote is my voice. And the choices that are made today will shape Savannah's future for years to come. To be absolutely honest and upfront with you, elections have consequences, and we're living with some of the consequences of elections. Good, bad, positive, negative, different or indifferent. The reality is that your not voting is also a vote as well. And so our system of government provides us this unique opportunity to be able to cast votes, cast our vote, cast our opinion. And so this is our opportunity to be able to do that. I will tell you that griping about it on social media doesn't get it done. I mean, you have people that will commiserate with you, but the reality is that change in government doesn't happen except through the electoral process. So this is very important to all of us. On today's ballot, in particular in Savannah, there are two key items that I believe deserve your attention. The Public Service Commission, which is extremely important for reasons that anybody who's ever complained about a utility would know. They regulate essential utilities across our state, including electricity, natural gas, and telecommunications. The PSC's decisions determine how much we pay for energy, how reliable our service is, and how we invest in cleaner, more resilient infrastructure. Your vote helps decide who will advocate for fair rates, consumer protection, and sustainable energy solutions for Georgia families and their businesses. This race may not make the biggest headlines, but it certainly has one of the biggest impacts on our daily lives. Of special note to me is also the special local option sales tax. Since 1985, Savannah's 1 cent penny, the continuation of the penny, has been the single most transformative public development tool in the city's history. This penny has built roads and bridges, has upgraded drainage, improved parks, and funded public safety facilities. It's purchased fire trucks. The things we ride on today, some of us have been here for a while. We recognize that it wasn't always here. And we know it wasn't property taxes that got us here. We were able to do these things without raising property taxes because of the special local option sales tax. Nearly 40% of this penny comes from visitors to Chatham County, meaning that the 16 million folks that come and visit us, that walk up and down our streets, we should be telling them thank you because they help pay for the major improvements that we get to enjoy every single day. We do have choices here. Governments have two ways of raising our revenue. You could raise it through property tax and fees, or you could raise it through sales tax. So if you put it in this context, we get the benefit of 100% of the benefits of SPLOST while only paying for 60% of it. I think that's a great deal. And so continuing SPLOST ensures that we can keep improving our infrastructure, supporting neighborhoods, and preparing for future growth while keeping our tax burden fair and balanced. And certainly, we know here at the City of Savannah, we have reduced this year again our millage to the lowest rate it's been since 1987. And we were able to do that because we're not paying for the big capital stuff with property taxes. So that's important to know as well, that SPLOS is really a mechanism that helps us on the other ends of the financial spectrum. To make it easier for everyone to vote, our friends at Chatham Area Transit, they're offering free rides to the polls today. So whether you take a bus or CAT Mobility, transportation should not and will not be a barrier for you to have your voices heard. Elections like this may seem small, but really their impact is enormous. And so the leaders chosen today and some of our neighboring communities and the decisions made today will affect our bills, our streets, our neighborhoods, and our futures. So as one of our former presidents say, don't boo, vote. Get out there and vote. Take the time today. It is a beautiful day in the hosted city. Get out there and vote. You have until 7 o'clock p.m. Ma'ams and sirs, don't wait till 7 o'clock to go to the polls. If you're standing in line at 7 o'clock, then they will make sure that you get the opportunity to vote. So you can ride for free, make your voice heard, and help us shape the Savannah we want to be able to see. Also, to that end, as you're aware, the federal government has been shut down for 35 days. 35 days, and set to become the longest on record this evening, when it will surpass the record set in 2019. We feel helpless about this because while our representatives in DC continue their stalemate, impacts on the ground here are real. This has become real to Savannahans. Most notably, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, has been hit by the shutdown. As many of you know, SNAP provides food purchasing assistance for low-income families and individuals. And so this is crucial. This is a crucial government function and service. SNAP benefits ended a few days ago due to the shutdown. If you don't think SNAP affects you, consider this. 1 in 8 Georgians, over 1.4 million Georgia residents, received SNAP benefits in 2024. More than 69% of those SNAP participants are in families with children. More than 28% of those folks are families with members who are older adults or disabled. And more than 37% of them are in working families. In Chatham County alone, an estimated 45,000 households depend on SNAP. And that represents working families that work every single day, seniors, your neighbors, my neighbors, people of every walk of life, who sometimes just need a little help. And for those of us sometimes who want to get on our high horses about help, everybody at some point in their life and existence needs some help. And sometimes it's just closing that gap. And this is a way to get nutritional food. We believe in Savannah that the convenience store should not be a supermarket. And potato chips and sodas are not healthy foods. And that is why we often see young people now having the maladies that older folks have, high blood pressure and diabetes, because they're eating the wrong foods. The average monthly benefit is about $200 or so, a little over $200 for an individual, and more than $700 for a family of 4. So any reduction or delay in those funds has real immediate impact on kitchen tables across Savannah. So it has an impact on me. While recent rulings in the federal courts have sought to bring much needed relief for families, the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, has reported that it will tap into a contingency fund to allow the partial issuance of November benefits under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. However, the money in the contingency fund is not enough to cover the entire need. So eligible households are reportedly to receive 50% of their SNAP benefits in November. But the USDA warned that some states may experience delays in getting that money out of the door. So whereas good news, you're getting some, it may not last you the whole month. And November, as you know, is a month of Thanksgiving, and certainly it is. But we're in the holiday season. So in these uncertain times, our community cannot and won't stand still. This poses a significant challenge to cities like Savannah. And let's be real, SNAP cannot and certainly will not be replaced or replicated by local government. Local governments are just not set up to deliver the needed resources based on a budget that we set last year and that will expire in a little over 2 months. However, that won't stop this city from doing what we can to step up to help our neighbors. We're not going to wait on the state or local or federal governments to act. We're going to do what we're going to do. And toward the end of my presentation, we have our friends here from the United Way and Second Harvest of the Coastal Empire, right? I got it? Georgia. Coastal Savannah, that's what I'll say. We're partnering with the United Way of the Coastal Empire and America's Second Harvest to help fill the gap for local SNAP households. The reality is these folks are the true superheroes in our community. We called them when Union Camp closed and they showed up. We're calling them again. And it should be important to note that the United Way is right now in their campaign. And a significant part of their annual contributions come from the federal government, which is shut down. So that's less people, less funds to be able to help people here. But working with our partners, we're going to help purchase groceries and distribute food boxes starting this week. To support their mission, the City of Savannah is providing an initial $50,000 granted to America's Second Harvest. And the city is working with United Way to coordinate services across our network of local nonprofits and our other partners to help our neighborhoods who have been impacted by recent layoffs, government furloughs, and the loss of federal benefits. Also, this Friday, November the 7th, beginning at 8 a.m., Second Harvest in Chatham County in the city of Savannah, we will host a joint food distribution event at Memorial Stadium. We will be giving out 1,000 prepackaged food boxes. And the best part, and some of you have seen how we do this before, you don't have to get out of your car. You just drive through, we pack you, we get you on your way. No one in Savannah should or will have to wonder about how they'll feed their family this month. We cannot solve every federal challenge, but we will take care of our community. And I will tell you that I've gone around and spoken to local businesses about the wonderful things they're doing. They're donating gift cards, they're donating funds, they're offering meals. That is what Savannah Strong means. When the going gets tough, Savannah gets going. And so I'm grateful to the United Way and Second Harvest, Team Savannah, Mr. Melder, Ms. Young, for really helping us to step up in a crucial way. I just refuse to sit by and just, wring my hands and say there's nothing we can do. There is something we can do. And so although it's not we didn't cause the problem, but we're gonna make sure that folks in Savannah have food that they need. And we're gonna do our best, but we still need donations. We still need help. Some of us are not affected at all. We don't receive SNAP. We're not affected by furlough. I'm gonna be asking the city of Savannah to jumpstart our Thanksgiving challenge this year. Usually we wait until Thanksgiving, but we have to start earlier. We just have to start earlier. And we might have to up the stakes for the departments or the service center that raises the most, because this is wartime. We are in the middle of something, and we have to emerge from this better than we were before. So I'm looking forward to doing what we can to be able to help, and we will continue to do so. And so at the conclusion of my comments, we'll have our friends here from United Way and Second Harvest to talk about what they're experiencing on the ground, and you'll have the opportunity to ask some questions as well. And tomorrow, I really get a chance to brag a little about Team Savannah. So on tomorrow, I will be hosting my 6th State of the City address. I know it doesn't seem like that long, but it's 6. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November the 5th at 6:30 p.m. at the Otis S. Johnson Cultural Arts Center located on Montgomery Street. And so this year's State of the City will be like none before it. We're going to push the limits. We're going to be creative. We're going to do things a little differently. And as we reach the halfway point of my second term, this is really a moment for us to reflect on how far Savannah has come, particularly in the last 12 months. More importantly, where we're going next. And you'll hear about the bold, big progress that we've made together. You'll certainly hear about the challenges that remain and really the innovative steps that we are taking to ensure that Savannah continues to grow stronger, fairer, and be more resilient, and certainly that we make sure that all means all. After my remarks, members of our executive team and our department heads will remain on site as a part of our Savannah After Dark. So they'll be there to talk directly with residents, answer questions, and certainly listen to their concerns. This is your city, this is your government, and this is your opportunity to connect face-to-face with those who serve you every day. More importantly, those who can get things done on your behalf. So I hope you will join us in person, in spirit, online, and in partnership as we celebrate our accomplishments and as we look forward to the second part, the second half of Savannah's story under this administration. So we're going to make this a night of community, creativity, and connection in a way that only Savannah can do it. Finally, it's the first of the month, which means that it is time for an updated top 10 most wanted list. We've been very, very clear that public safety is a public responsibility. This is not a list that you want to find yourself on. In over a year that I started doing this, I think 80% of the individuals we profiled, 2 years? Oh, okay, it's been 2 years. 80% of the folks we profiled have been captured or have turned themselves in. You don't want to be on this list. And so we're excited because the reality is this means our citizens are engaged in this. I've had aunts and grandmothers. I've had a father call me and say, I heard you looking for my son. Here he is right here. Let me talk to him. I talked to him. And the reality is if you hear your name, lawyer up and come see us. You can't get to your tomorrow until you deal with today. And so we would much rather you handle your business, come in and face the things that you're being accused of, and then continue the rest of your life than for us to find you at a time and place that's inopportune for you, and it goes down differently. That's our reality. So if you hear the name of someone you know, you can call us directly at 912-525-3124, 912-525-3124. You can submit an anonymous tip on the SPD mobile app. And as some of you have done, call my office, 912-651-6444, 912-651-6444, and I will snitch. So you call the office, and you don't want to tell, I'll tell for you. It's the reality is that these individuals don't need to be on our streets. They just don't need to be on our streets. So as of November the 4th, the top 10 most wanted in Savannah, Victor Kaysen, who's wanted for aggravated assault, Corey Underwood, who's wanted for aggravated assault, Avery Samuels, who's wanted for burglary, Rictavius Gilliard, who's wanted for aggravated assault and stalking, Javante Pringles, who's wanted for aggravated assault, Elenaxi Castillo, who's wanted for battery, David Waring, who's wanted for aggravated assault, Timothy Patterson, who's wanted for rape and aggravated assault, Angelo Wolf, who's wanted for possession of a firearm, and Malik Williams, who is wanted for aggravated battery. We want you to do your part to protect our community. We have full reason to believe that these individuals are still in our community. We believe that they're still around. They're in plain sight. We may not see them, but you see them. And so for those that are accused of aggravated battery or aggravated assault, if they did it once, they might do it again, and it might be you. For the individual accused of rape, do you want to be your child, your loved one, that you would want to be victimized? Or those that are dealing with issues of firearms? We know the trouble that firearms have caused in our community. So do your part to protect our community. You can turn yourself in or you can turn them in. And you could always find this list at savannahpd.org/most wanted. savannahpd.org/most wanted. And so I'm looking forward to looking forward to maybe getting to 100 individuals apprehended since we started this list. So that ends my question. I'm going to take questions here about everything except SNAP and food, and then I'll invite them up and we'll talk a little bit about that, all right? All right, start with Jasmine.
Hello, Mayor Johnson, Jasmine Butler with WTSC. You all have been rallying for months now to inform the community about the SPLOST vote on the ballot. You talked about it a lot today.
Yes.
Can you just reiterate next steps for Savannah infrastructure if Chatham County voters say no to SPLOST today?
Well, again, I think it's clear. If Chatham County voters say no, then the things that they've said they wanted will be significantly impacted. So, for example, number one on our list was Highland and Benton Boulevard to widen that. Number two was the President Street overpass. Well, folks are going to have to probably deal with those delays a little while longer. And we're going to have to figure out other ways to do it. So usually, as I said, it's either property tax or fees and being able to do that. So as you know, funds from the federal government have dried up totally. And so we just won't be able to do some of those things. They won't have to do. Folks are just going to have to wait for the train, and they'll just have to complain. I mean, we just don't have any other ways of being able to do it. Those types of big projects without raising property taxes to do it.
Gotcha. And I only have 2 questions today, but do you have any feedback that you can share from yesterday's 37th Street Corridor Project open house?
Other than we want to engage, again, I think if we're going to be guilty of something, it's going to be guilty of over-engaging. We want to create opportunities for citizens to come out and citizens that are affected to be able to talk directly with us. Oftentimes, particularly with projects like the 37th Street Corridor Project, there are a lot of misgivings. And so, talking with experts, understanding what the scope of the project is, what it's not, often provides great opportunities for citizens to better understand. Our citizens are not dumb. They just need the information. And so sometimes everybody doesn't get it in a PowerPoint presentation. Sometimes they just want to be able to ask questions directly. They want to see where it falls on a map. And so we want to make sure that we do what we can to be able to engage our residents to know what's happening in their city and have them be a partner in that progress. That's it.
I'll wait till snap.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Hey, good morning, Mr. Mayor.
oh my, good morning.
I want to ask you a little bit about, we're about 10 days away from a marathon or a half marathon here, and had kind of a jaded history of the last couple of them here. Why do you think this one will be different, and what are you hoping to see with this marathon that maybe we haven't seen out of the last 2 years?
Well, personally, to be honest with you, this is just the comments I'm going to make are, which marathon are you talking about? The
southern half.
Right. So I think, and this is Van speaking, I don't think we're a marathon city. And as you know, I was around with the Rock and Roll Marathon as an alderman, ran in it twice. But our city is really not set up for marathons. Although people like running, and I can understand why they would like running in Savannah, but Savannah is configured in such a way that it really, for qualifying events for marathons, it becomes very, very difficult to close streets for an extended period of time. And folks can't get out of their communities. I think we're better suited for half marathons, which are much shorter and that are not necessarily qualifying events. Folks have a very defined time of getting in and getting out. You have the real runners who just kind of fly through. Then you have those that are moderate runners that kind of cruise through. You have people like me who probably at the last, at the back of the line, but we can manage those better. And I think we have to manage where our strengths are. You know, people want to come here, they want to run here. I think we've done what we could with marathons. I think our strength and our sweet spot is halves. Halves and absolutely 5Ks.
From an economic standpoint, we do very well with local races, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Bridge Run or March Dimes,
Right.
whatever have you. Having a national marathon, something that's going to draw from outside the market at a time of year when our hotel, motel, hospitality is struggling a little bit, how important do you see an event like this being to helping the local economy?
Well, again, I think we have to figure out where our sweet spot is, and I think government, we are in a position where we have to balance the needs of our residents and the needs of people who are visiting here. And we are the arbitrator, and we have to keep that balance. So that's why I think for us, halves work. People come in for halves as well. People want to come to Savannah. It's a reason for people to come into Savannah. But, you know, although marathons do well here in Savannah, the reality is it just throws our infrastructure into crazy, crazy places. You know, again, when you are cutting across Victory Drive for a significant period of time, anywhere on Victory Drive, that's our major, it is a state highway. It really causes issues for our community. And so we want it to add to the community and not take away from the community. If it gets to the point where it's so obstructive that residents are not happy that it's here, like in the very beginning when the Rock Road, everybody was just happy that it was here. And then after a while, when it kind of shifted a little bit, people were like, oh gosh, another marathon, So I think for us, I think our sweet spot is there. And, our tourism community has found a way to be very nimble and to be able to adapt. Again, Savannah, we'll find a way to plug the hole.
One last thing is just satisfy my curiosity. You mentioned PFC elections earlier.
Yes.
If you drive around town, you see billboards that say, vote to lower your power bill. And obviously that is misleading, would probably be a better way to put it. When you see stuff like that, how do you feel about how some of these campaigns are being run in terms of communicating with voters?
Well, as a politician, myself, I've never tried to offer what I could not deliver. The PSC plays a very, very important role in helping to determine rates. You also know it takes a vote of the full PSC to be able to reduce rates. So, there is a difference between your campaigning intentions and your actual governing opportunities. And so I think it depends on the total makeup of the PSC in terms of what is actually achieved from that. So in terms of people's campaigning strategies, I've seen some crazy things in my days.
That's awesome.
I'm waiting in New York where transit's supposed to be free. See how that goes. All right, y'all come on up. Our great partners, and I'll do this for them just to be able to talk about what they're experiencing on the ground. I think, again, these ladies and the folks that work with them are, again, the superheroes of our community. Whenever we've needed them. And they don't often get behind this stage, but the reality is they're doing the work. And I wanted them to be able to come today to be able to share their perspectives and certainly ways that you can help them because the help is going directly to the folks that need it through these reputable organizations. So, ladies.
Thank you.
Let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Crouch with Second Harvest, and as the mayor said earlier, on Friday we will be doing our mobile food pantry out at Memorial Stadium, where we'll be serving around 1,000 cars that come through, or 1,000 households that come through. This is just one of our efforts to be able to make sure that people in our community have access to food. We do this on a year-round basis. Obviously, everything that's been in the media has emphasized what's going on with the SNAP benefits, but this is our day-to-day work that we do. Part of what we'll be doing also also is if you go on our website, which is helpendhunger.org, you can go there and click on Find Food. You can type in your zip code, and you can find a local pantry where you're able to go get food assistance. That way you're not waiting on one of our mobile food pantries. Their hours of operation, their phone numbers are there. Many of our partners have agreed to have extra hours. We are out right now procuring additional food that we are pushing out to those agencies so they'll have sufficient food to be able to reach the community. And we want to make sure that every person goes to bed with a full tummy every night. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly Waller. I'm the CEO of our United Way of the Coastal Empire. So honored to be here with Mary Jane. Her and her team do such incredible work. One of the things that United Way is doing is coordinating across our community, connecting with all of our nonprofits. We're hosting calls to make sure that we're all coordinating our work together. We're stronger when we do this work together. We will also reference to Second Harvest website, but we have updated resources on our website. If you visit us at uwce.org, we have a resource document that will be updated on a daily basis. It's really hard to know where to go sometimes, and so between the two of our organizations, we want to make sure that you know where to go, how to access food and other support. We are also, we have our 211 information and referral service. 211 is a number that you can call. I will say we're seeing increased call volumes. So easiest and fastest way is to email us at 211@uwce.org. There are call specialists that will answer any of your questions, get you connected to where you need to go, and provide resources where we're able to do that. And so for those who want to help, the mayor has talked about how giving our community is. United Way's mission is mobilizing the caring power of our community, and Savannah is so caring. So if you are interested in supporting this work and giving back to your community, you can do several things. I strongly encourage you to learn and connect with your food banks across our communities. Consider donating, consider hosting food drives. There is need out there. We all know that. We are also have a giving page and giving option if you want to give directly to United Way of the Coastal Empire. It's specific for emergency assistance for federal workers and others who have been impacted by the federal shutdown. We want to do as much as we possibly can to support our community because we know they need us. So if you are interested in supporting, you can do so in those two different ways. And then the other option, if you go on our website and look at the shutdown resources, there's a contact information there. If you have, if you know about resources that you want shared with the community, let us know. We'll add them to the list. Again, we update that resource guide and resource list every single day. Everybody is stepping up, whether it's nonprofits, our churches, and our church community. So we want to make sure that you know where to go. So if you have resources you want shared, let us know, and we'll make sure that they get out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I know there's some questions for them. Food should not be political. And we all agree on that food should not be political. We believe that every person should have access to quality food. And that's what this is all about. It's not about blue or red or green or white. It is about food going into the stomachs of those who need it. I just returned from Africa, and there were people there who were hungry. That should not be America. It should not be America. We call ourselves the greatest country on earth. We have to act like it. And so the city of Savannah is the greatest city on earth, and we will act like that. And so for those of us who are not affected, I'm just asking for you to dig down a little deep. These community groups and civic organizations, dig down a little deep. We have people in this community who need help, and they need it now. They can't wait till Thanksgiving. They can't wait till Christmas. They need the help now. We'll worry about Thanksgiving when we get there. So any questions for these ladies? So.
Nancy Franco, Savannah Morning News. I guess the question is maybe for the two of you. So City of Savannah, you said you mentioned is going to be donating about $50,000 over to Second Harvest. Can you tell me a little bit about what that money is going to be spent on and how you plan to use it?
Sure. We're going to purchase pre-packed boxes that we'll be able to give out to residents of Savannah. That's what we're doing on Friday, but we'll be purchasing additional boxes that we're able to give out. We have, in the last couple of weeks, spent a little over $500,000 purchasing food. So as Kimberly said, feel free to go on our website, if you can help us replenish that. It was not something we had planned in our budget. So love for the community to get involved and do food drives. We have a lot of them going out with drop-off points all around town. They're all listed on our website as well as on our Facebook. And if you feel so, inclined, you're more than welcome to help us be able to support bringing more of that food into our community. Kimberly.
I mean, I just think connecting with the availability of what Second Harvest is doing. Again, we have our emergency assistance fund, but truly the need is food right now, and that need is great. So we want to make sure that we're connecting you to where the needs are most.
Let me add, and Joe will add that to our website as well. We'll add a link to both of their links. The more places we can link it to that gets them directly there, I think that will be helpful. So we'll link to you so that you can get the assistance you need.
And what kind of food would be going into those boxes?
There's a multitude of food. I can provide an actual list of what we're going to get, but it includes things like protein, fruits, vegetables, pastas, all sorts of things that families will be able to make a full meal. It's about a 25-pound box, 20 to 25-pound boxes. The first of them will be arriving tomorrow for Friday's giveaway, and then the rest will be arriving the first of next week. So that's why we're getting in it as fast as we possibly can. We're hearing, all of the food banks and people across the country are buying up as much food as they possibly can to make this work. For every 9 meals that SNAP provides, the food bank provides 1 meal. So you can imagine we can't make up that difference between the 1 meal that we can provide and what SNAP normally provides. And those are USDA statistics. So we're doing the best we can, and we appreciate the community's support, understanding that we are doing the best we can, but this is a crisis for all food banks and nonprofits that deal with food insecurity. So be patient with us. We're trying to get that food in as fast as we can.
Thank you.
Mary Jane, one box, how much is it a day? Is it a week? Is it, how many?
We've looked at the list and everything. It probably would last a family of 4 at least 3 or 4 days. It's got different types of meat in it, different types of protein. It's got breakfast bars, peanut butter, cereal, all sorts of things like that. I'm happy to provide a list.
I think the other thing that's important is particularly the nutritional content as well, that it provides the required nutrition that is needed. Again, there's food for consumption and there's healthy food or healthy food options. So I think that's important that you have a well-balanced meal within that box as well.
And another question.
Oh, wow. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So the $50,000 is going directly to that food assistance, which is urgently needed right in this moment. Hopefully once the government shuts down, we'll stop seeing some of the trickle-down effects that aren't necessarily as pressing as the food insecurity that is present right now. The White House published a report that said in Georgia alone, $1 billion is going to be lost from each month the government is shut down. Has the city of Savannah talked about how they can support farmers or other small businesses as they feel the effects from lost consumer spent wages?
Well, fortunately for us, we're not large in the farm business. And we're really just not built for that. We're not built for it. We're under a budget now, the FY25 budget, that is now 10 months used. And so we're just not built for those opportunities, which is why our government needs to get their stuff together and get reopened. These are not only missed opportunities, it's tragic for folks that are struggling and will be continuing to struggle because of what's happening in D.C. I believe we can do both. I believe we can have a continuing resolution to keep the government open. I believe we can protect ACA healthcare premiums too. I think it's not or, I think it's and. I think we can do both, but you can't do it if you're not in the same room, at least communicating. And so I think that is the challenge that we continually have, that while they're playing that ping pong in D.C., there are folks in Savannah who are feeling those effects for real. And even when the government opens up, you can't necessarily get back that which was lost. So it's lost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Question. I talked to an organization that helps single mothers yesterday, and she said that around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, is when they get the most donations to support single mothers, fathers, families, things like that. Number one, is that the same for you guys? And do you think because, people need that assistance right now for food, that you'll need more support as we go into the holiday season?
Thanksgiving really, and November is really always our busiest month because a lot of people want to do their giveaways and be able to make sure families have the opportunity to spend that time together. So we had already pre-planned all of that before this happened. So that food is here and it's secure for all of our partner agencies and everyone that are getting the turkeys and all the sides and everything with that. So that's pretty much done. But our concern, and something that you brought up, is this is not going to end just when the government opens up. The USDAs have not been buying food from farmers. They've not been placing orders for future commodities. So they're telling us this could easily go into February and March being an issue for food banks across the country. Not for the SNAP, but food banks across the country, because the food that we normally are getting, it's not being ordered right now. So we are looking at, while we want to meet the immediate need, which is going on now, this could be a long-term issue, months before we can completely recover with our food supply, which is why food drives and things like that are so important to us. The city of Savannah does an unbelievable food drive for each year, and I'm standing here wanting to make sure I'm pumping that up right now. But that's one of the ways we, in the past, have always gotten through the winter. It's going to be even more critical this year for that food drive and our other food drives to be successful so we can get through the winter months.
Thank you.
Just in addition to that, I think one of the things that we're talking about at United Way, and on Friday we hosted a call with there were about 55 individuals from nonprofits and other community partners on this call on Friday, and we talked about what does this look like for the future. And exactly to my colleague's part and the mayor talking about this, it does not solve just because it's open, and the more destabilized families' budgets are, the more at risk we are of having longer term impacts to families. So making sure that at United Way, we really see ourselves as filling gaps, stepping in where perhaps a family's budget has been impacted because they didn't have their full SNAP benefits and it impacted their ability to pay their utilities. This is all a really big challenge for families. So just the longer this goes, the more we know the needs are going to be great.
And it becomes a circle of crisis. Those who would give can't give. So they can't give to who they give to. And it becomes this really bad cycle. And I call it a circle of crisis because that's what it is. Folks, if you're not receiving a check, you're not giving to the United Way. So United Way can't help the member agencies that help people that would need help, because the federal folks that need help now can't get the help because the money is not there. They would usually give anyway. Or those who would donate, which is why I'm hoping that we'll start our competition a little earlier. Taffy, I know we start usually the middle of November, but we might need to start this week. And we might just have to double up, and we have to figure out some incentives to get Team Savannah. Because, the folks of Team Savannah, they're blessed. They get to come to work and they're being paid. But there are folks that have to come to work every single day and not be paid. I saw them at the airports. There's certainly some out at Hunter Army Airfield there, the Corps of Engineers. And all of a sudden, it's gotten real to them. You can't get to work. You don't have lunch. You can't feed your families. So not only the financial toll, but the psychological and emotional toll. How do we address those types of issues? And so we just have to find ways to be able to manage it as best we can. I'm confident that we can, because that's what we do. Anything else? Anything? Well, I want to thank these two ladies. Again, we will post. As a matter of fact, we'll send out we'll send out a release today to include their information on here, because we want to make sure that folks know how to give. People called our office saying, how can I give? We can really create ways of really helping to supercharge their efforts in this city. Again, we are a very, very giving community. And I'm hoping that we will give to be able to help these folks. We will never get back what we lost, but we have to get past this point. And for some folks this morning, it was very, very dire. So we like making history. We don't like making history in this way. So thank you all so much. Hope to see you tomorrow at the State of the City address. And thank you for being Savannah Strong.